Fitted fashion, my tapestry, keep a story attached to me. Black hoodie represents a catastrophe. Even before BLM, I was seeing it happen in front of me. Had a few things done to me, I was too young to fathom. Just imagine being in the position of being picked apart based upon your pigment. They said I was academically challenged, but it was the academics that I challenged. I never fit in my district. They taught me lineage, beginning to change. My family sees that I'm beginning to change. The attitude that I tapped into in that particular stage benefited me at the end of the day. See, I had a couple of white friends that think I'm too black. Black friends think I'm way too militant and yet not black enough, even though most of them won't admit it. But neither of them have a problem with calling me a... I used to read a lot of fiction because the non-fiction was an odd mixture of both. So I studied on my own. I learned that colonialism wasn't only a decision based upon expanding the hold on the globe. They thought that it was already there, so they were sold. And if you disagree with them, then you knew it was on. History is written by the victor. I think their definition of victory is wrong. So, rap is folk, huh? I remember the first time that I learned that the banjo came from Africa was at the Black Banjo Gathering in Mebane, North Carolina. And at the time, I was 8 or 9 years old, and I didn't understand the gravity of that information. I didn't really know the weight that that would carry and how it would impact me for the rest of my life. I was young enough that it didn't feel wrong, but I was old enough to know that it felt different. It felt like something wasn't adding up. My aunt used to play for these two black string bands called the Sankofa Strings and the Carolina Chocolate Drops. And in the summers, I would go with her to old time festivals and folk festivals like Merle Fest. And it felt like I was stepping into Narnia. Like I was stepping into this different world where I was exposed to a side of my culture that felt hidden from me. Because at home, all we listened to was rap and R&B and pop, and it didn't really feel like there was a frame of reference for folk when I was at home. And it didn't feel like there was a frame of reference to what I was listening to at home when I would be in these folk spaces. It felt like my identity was ripped in half. But when I would go out on these adventures with my aunt, I loved the music. I loved seeing black men and women playing fiddles and banjos, and there was just something in it that made me feel like I had to get involved somehow. And so I started by trying to be a violin player. And the thing about my experience playing the violin was I wanted to be a fiddle player, but before I could break the rules, I had to learn the rules first. And so I started learning the Suzuki method, but it didn't really hit for me. You know, the beat that I was looking for, the groove that I was looking for, I didn't find in classical music. And so I set it down, but I knew I had to get involved in some way. And so one day, we were at a music festival in some random city, some random state, and my aunt had just come back from Africa and she had a gourd banjo. And we're in the hotel room, and I pick up the gourd banjo and I pluck a couple strings. And it did not sound like a banjo at all to me. It didn't have the twang of the banjos that I was used to hearing. It sounded more like plucking a cello string. It had a very much lower tone, and it was beautiful. And I told my aunt I had to learn how to play this. I asked her if she could teach me. And the first thing she taught me was claw hammer and the rhythm that I had to get in my body. The boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom. The way I play banjo is not plucking the way you would a guitar. It's more using the weight of your hand to carry this part of your finger down the strings. You're almost drumming on each string. And the first thing I had to learn was that boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom. It became a heartbeat for me. And not just that, my dad would come pick me up and we'd have an hour drive from Durham to Greensboro every other weekend. And he would be playing hip hop, but not just recreationally. He broke down that there was coded messaging behind the lyrics. That when Jay-Z said he wanted to be forever young, that's not just what he meant. There were layers behind what he was saying. And the rhythm of rap, the boom, became my second heartbeat. And it was a heartbeat that I shared with my friends, as well as my father. So it felt like not only was I jumping from world to world, but I had these two heartbeats vying for my attention, for my love. When I'm in a folk space, it seems that we come together to celebrate the history and the legacy of our culture, the past. And it feels like when I'm in the hip hop space, we celebrate innovation and the new and staying on the edge. Rap is a young man's game in that it reinvents itself every couple of years. So it feels like I'm stuck in a place between the past and the future. But as I got older, I had to ask myself why. Why does folk music get lumped in as something that only exists behind us? What is folk music? To me, folk music is just the music of the people. It's the music that you play to the rhythm of your own heartbeat. It's not something that you have to learn in class or that has to be taught to you in any real way. It's handed down like myth and legend. And if you think about it, rap and folk do not have very different histories. From the porch to the stoop. We're talking about music to make people dance and feel love that has coded messaging in response to adversity. Stories of love and grief and joy and pain all bound in this wonderful sound. To me, rap is one of the illest examples of folk music of all time. What is rap but the art of storytelling to the rhythm of your heartbeat, to the rhythm of your environment, to the rhythm of your culture, of your legacy? I made an album called Oh Henry, where I set out to merge folk world and hip hop together. That's what I thought I was going to do. I thought I was going to take these two worlds and put them in the same space. I started putting banjo lines over 808 breaks. And I started putting rap flows over banjo rhythms. And what I learned was that these were not two different heartbeats at all. When you put the boom chigga with the boots and cats, all you find is one heartbeat. And that's mine. No, I ain't usually with the back and forth, but I be packing iron like I done got me a sack of ore. This fire stick hit 'em on riot pitch, the glass will fall, riot gear when I appear. The smoke is sticks you've been asking for. Hit the gas and I'm dashing forward as the ash in this floor. My passenger ashes on the door, I told him stop it. Mr. Bones, you know you so obnoxious, you make me nauseous. Plus you smoke like you don't need oxygen. You see me and you are opposite. Opposition really, boy you see me and you know what time it is. You ain't no friend to me, homie. Get it, more than an enemy, you're a lieutenant, you gotta be kidding. Stuck around like I wanted you with me through all of them pivotal moments. They probably would've ended different if I had prior knowledge and listened. I obviously didn't. I ain't follow my heart, now it's a schism with an iron inside of it. What ain't fitting, I made fit. Middle finger up to what you make of it. Running up the block, I ain't even know what an acre meant. Spin a grip, searching for a place to spit. Hope an open mic can open eyes to all the pain I'm in. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home. Now I don't like to do this too often, it's too much talking these days. Not enough action or objects of fascination beyond a falsified optic. Forced to find options, I don't follow just anybody, I'm fortifying my conscience. Gotta triple check it, peep the record. I don't trust it, got metro thinking and metric how it's measured. Whoever seeing this better like it. Better yet throw an emoji under that, you know how I get. Slightly controllable when I'm swiping through quotables, so not sociable, more unsatisfied, even uncomfortable, coping with polarizing atonement. I'm hoping I could. I don't wish somebody would, I know that he would, I know that he would. I know that he would. I don't wish somebody would when I know that he would. I know that he would. I know that he would. I don't wish somebody would because I know that he would. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home. Now welcome to the everlasting, never having a second chance bandstand. I hope everybody brought in with them somebody that's finna be real with them, cause these bills we will get them. Get them. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Mr. Bones need to leave me alone. Said it's lit outside, but I'd rather be at home on my own. Thank you.